Yeah, I apologize for that. The thing is that with this camera, when it reaches 4 gigabytes, the file it cuts off. I don't know, whatever. Anyhow, I was saying that what came after 9/11 truth was birtherism, with that Obama was not an American citizen, and then after that I think it was QAnon, with Pizzagate and all this stuff, which is bizarre. I mean, QAnon is just bizarre. It's just so bizarre. It's just not even. I mean, that is a parody of whatever. It's just horrible. I mean, that and now there is anti-vax, which is just crazy. Suicidal even. Yeah. Anyways, I wanted just to end that this video, this little short video, is to end the disclaimer video. So I'm gonna stop here because the next video, which will be the last one. Now I'm up to 5 videos in this elongated uh, uh, disassociation statement series. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to be this way, but it just turned out to be this way. But I just want to make sure things are clear. That I'm clear about everything. So, anyways, um, right. The next video, which will be the last, is when I would discuss issue by issue, uh, more traditional XJW community issues or whatever, where I will go through that. I will go through different things, such as I'll give you a preview. Um, hmm, um, Existence of Adam and Eve, original sin, Mosaic law, the blood teaching, shunning, um, disassociation, and 1919. Right? Those are the issues that I'm going to cover in that final video, which is the last one. And you notice one thing about me that is different from other members of the XJW community. I'm not really a member of the XJW community yet, because when I'm making this video, I'm PIMO, right? I'm still a PIMO. I calculate, like I said before in a previous video on this series, that I will be disfellowship sometime in 2022. That's my calculation, right? Probably. Um, the latest 2023. I don't think I'll be around as a Jehovah's Witness beyond a certain time, because the writing is on the wall, right? I'm already being observed and stuff. Just today, an elder called me, to encourage me to attend a field service tomorrow, right? Which I don't, because I told another guy, I'm only gonna do service once a week, but now the elder is calling me to suggest in a very polite way that I go and go in the service or whatever tomorrow morning. So I said, okay, yeah, I'll do it. So yeah, I'll do it for like an hour. I mean, all we're doing now, because if it's COVID-19, is write letters and make phone calls. So I'll just write, like 3 or 4 letters in an hour, and then just leave it like that, whatever, I mean, I'm not, like I said, my intention is not to provoke anything. Let them naturally disfellowship me, right? Let them naturally disfellowship me. Or if the situation deteriorates to a point where it is no longer tenable and I have to disassociate myself, I'll do it. But I rather let them disfellowship me first. Let them do it. Let them naturally. It's like in George Orwell. George Orwell, the guy who wrote the novel 1984, that novel is really interesting. Because in that novel it says that the crime that contains all others in itself is thought crime. And that thought crime is death, right? That when you commit thought crime, it is inevitable that the thought police, the secret police, will get you, right? And you will be disappeared. You're like in the ministry of I think it was the ministry. No, what was it? The Ministry of Truth, the Ministry of Love, which is the secret police, the Ministry of Peace, which is war, and the Ministry of Plenty, which administers scarcity, right, for the party. Anyways, if you get eliminated by the Ministry of Love, the Ministry of Truth will erase you from the record, right? Something like that. According to Orwell, in that novel, the character in that novel, when you commit thought crime, the process towards that happening to you begins, and it's inevitable. The end is inevitable. And in that novel, of course, him and his lover, the main character and his lover, get caught by the secret police, right? In their love nest or whatever. Yeah, because they were having like an illicit sexual relationship or what have you. Because in the party, you're supposed to like be a member of the Junior Anti-Sex League, right? It's really eerie. I mean, it's really weird. If you read 1984 by George Orwell and you compare it to Jehovah's Witnesses, it's very similar. It's weird. Like yeah, and the party and whatever. Big Brother and the party. I mean, yeah, it's weird. It's weird, but yeah. And I mean, George Orwell, Eric Blair, yeah, his name. George Orwell wrote that novel as a critique of Stalinism, right? But you could use it as a critique of Jehovah's Witnesses. And this is a recommendation for the XW community out there. I know you want to read Crisis of Conscience, you want to read In Defense of Christian Freedom, The Reluctant Apostate, and Leaving the Witness by Amber Scora, Lloyd Evans, and Ray France, right? You want to read those 4 books. But I would recommend that you add Orwell's 1984, to that. And another thing that differentiates me from the XJW community or whatever, and I'm not a member of it yet. I'm part of the PIMO underground or whatever, a dissident movement. I know samizdat, whatever, if you want to call it samizdat. I don't think inside there is an underground inside Jehovah's Witnesses. I know there is a homosexual scene inside Jehovah's Witnesses, right? I know it. And I'm not going to say how I know it, because if I say how I know it, it might divulge details about how different members of this underground interact with each other inside the organization. But I know for a fact there exist active homosexuals inside the organization, and that in many cases they're active with each other. Actually, Marcus Vaugn, one of the guys the guy who posted the video of the Bible student elder message to Jehovah's Witnesses, which is linked. If you look down in my channel in the area where it says X videos or whatever, there's a selection of very, like, my favorite XJW and metamodern video and stuff, like a selection of videos that are very important, both from a metamodern and XJW perspective. And if you look at the video that says Bible student elder message to Jehovah's Witnesses or whatever, something like that, the guy who posted that video, I think it's Marcus Vaugn. I don't think I'm pronouncing his last name right, but his name first is Marcus. In his channel, he has a video where he says that when he was in Bethel, he bumped into 2 men kissing. Okay, he said that in there. And there's another channel where I saw an interview with a guy who was engaged in homosexual activity while at Bethel. So I don't know. And I've heard stories about things that happen at conventions and assemblies where there's some action in the parking lot and in the toilets involving oral sex. I've heard all sorts of stuff. That is on the and in another context in Facebook. There is a context on Facebook that I've been in where I've been and I'm not going to say, because if the organization goes in that context, in that community, and spies on them or whatever, I don't want to do that. So, but there, yeah, I know for a fact there is a homosexual underground inside the Jehovah's Witnesses. I know it for a fact, and yeah, whatever. But yeah. I want to say this, okay, about there is a certain thing about the XJW community which I don't participate in, and I will never participate in, and it is this thing about child abuse. Okay, I'm gonna stay out of that. Okay, I'm gonna stay out of that. Okay, and I I'm sorry, but I think that some people in the XJW community are taking that too far. Okay, where now they're suggesting that I understand many people are angry at the organization. I know I can say, and I haven't really been hurt by them. Quite the contrary. I haven't really been hurt by them, other than I was mind fucked. I underwent an episode of verbal abuse and psychological abuse for a few months or one time, but that's nothing. I got over it. I think it was management training or something. It doesn't matter. Okay, this obsession with child abuse. I know there is a case for the child abuse thing. Okay, I know I've seen videos on YouTube, and I've also read, some stuff about people, and there was the Australian Royal Commission and all that. I understand all that. I understand that there might be. I mean, the premise that there is a credible case for, the child abuse problem inside Jehovah's Witnesses is there. There may be so, but some people in the XJW community are taking it too far, and they're starting to, like, I don't know, base their entire perspective on that issue, as if that is the only thing that matters. No, no. I mean, yeah, I mean, people are hurt by child abuse. Children are hurt. Young women are hurt and whatever. But you know, if you sort of like grab that child abuse thing and you manufacture a narrative where you like seize on that to like club the organization with. I'm sorry to tell you this, but Jehovah's Witnesses in the congregation that I'm a member of, to them, all that child abuse stuff is lies. They don't even care about what you're saying anymore. The organization doesn't care about the thing because they all the organization says is these people hate us, and they're making stuff up to try to like discredit us and smear us. It's just a smear campaign. That's what the elders say. An elder told me this. This is a smear campaign. It's just an apostate smear campaign. They're angry because they're being disciplined. Because the people who are apostate, whatever, are mostly these fellowship persons who are angry at the fact that they were disciplined, right? They can't handle the discipline, so they become apostate, and then they hate the organization, so they seize on this child abuse narrative. That's the organization's position. Stay out of it. This is the first and last time I comment on that. I'm gonna stay out of it. Okay, I'm not gonna get involved in that one. If you want to know the perspective of the XJW community on child abuse, go to the Lloyd Evans channel. He has plenty of things. He even has a documentary that he made in 2015 about it, and I saw it. Yeah, I will defer the issue of child abuse to Lloyd Evans, and I'm gonna stay out of it. Okay, yeah, whatever. Because I think that I think that you guys need to move on from that. Not move on, but not emphasize. Like, stop emphasizing it. Stop making it the center of everything, and look at other things. Look at other issues that are pressing too. Like and in the final video of my disassociation, I'm gonna list those issues. Okay. Yeah, that I think are the ones that I feel that I see as that are the most relevant and that should be like emphasized more, and that are eclipsed by this sort of obsession, or not obsession. It's not an obsession. Sort of focus on the child abuse thing, which frankly, well, I'm gonna say this. And I know people in the XJW community are going to say that I'm an apologist. I'm not apologizing for anything. But I'm going to tell you this. In the congregation that I'm in, there's many children. There are many children in the congregation that I'm in. And all the children are very happy. And they're young children. These are young children. These are like boys, young boys. There's a whole group of young boys. And they're fine. They're fine. They're happy. They're well adjusted. Their parents love them to death. They're loved. Not just by their parents, but by their congregation. I mean, it's just. I mean, I haven't seen this end because what I hear from the XJW community is that there's an endemic child abuse problem where the two witness rule is like some sort of regime that encourages the pedophiles to like molest the children and what have you. I'm sorry, I haven't seen that in the congregation I'm in. I just haven't. So it is bad to the people who have been hurt by it. And I know the cases, what is this, Jose Lopez is one that I saw about, and these people in the Australian Royal Commission, and the people that are highlighted in the Lloyd Evans documentary about it. I understand that, and then there's this other kid in California. What's his name? It's not Cosmic Skeptic. That's a British kid, and he's not a Jehovah's Witness. The other one, what is his name? Cameron Fader, right? And he went on there saying that he was abused and what have you. I respect that he had a bad experience, okay? I understand. I empathize with him and whatever. But and yeah, there's many people who have had this experience and say so and whatever, like this kid Cameron and other people like in the Lloyd Evans documentary. But if you take this issue of, and of child abuse and turn it into some sort of like, ideology, then you are making the mistake of maybe becoming a cult yourself, turning the XJW community into a cult. If you take XJW, if you grab the XJW, I don't know, ex Jehovah's Witness uh, narrative or whatever, and you turn it into like an ideology, you risk turning it into an internet cult, a YouTube cult. And if that's where you're going, I don't want to have a part of it, because I just got out of one cult. I'm dealing with all sorts of ideologies here and stuff. I don't need another. I don't need to add another cult, an internet cult, to a physical cult and another cult and the other cult and the other thing that I'm dealing with here. No thanks. I'm through. I am tired of truth. I am sick and tired of truth. I am tired of the truth. I don't want to have anything more with the truth of any kind. I don't believe in the truth. I believe in fact. Okay? And that is why I'm into scientific realism. Even though it is flawed in this issue that they want to, like, they want an absolute difference between true and false, like formal logic or whatever. That I don't agree with, but still, I rather have that. Their general approach or direction is where I'm going, and that excludes me getting involved in another cult, in an internet cult, based on XJW community ideology. So that's what I'm gonna. I just wanted to make that disclaimer. You will not hear me talk about child abuse again, ever, in this channel. Okay? I'll talk about other issues. I defer the issue of child abuse to Lloyd Evans and other people who are talking about it, not me. Okay? That's it. Bye bye. Oh, I will. The next video will be the last, which is the video where I talk about the issues. Okay? Bye bye.